I can hear is criticize, criticize, criticize.
What is going on, everybody? Jeremiah Black Development Network presents Constructive Criticism Podcast. What's going on, everybody? This is episode 2. All right, we're getting some consistency in there. A couple of housekeeping. Monday we are dropping the audio. Right now it's on Spotify and Apple. I think I said in the first episode it's gonna be on like Amazon. I'm working on getting it on other platforms, but right now it's just on Spotify and it is on Apple Podcasts, which is amazing, right? And Tuesday the visuals will be on YouTube, so make sure you're following the YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you're following the Spotify. YouTube is Black Development Network, and just make sure you guys are doing that for me. I had a very long weekend, not this weekend, last weekend. Before dropping the other pod, I had a long weekend of one of my best friends got married, and it's a beautiful wedding, beautiful. She looked beautiful, he looked great. Shout out to Marlarissa Lagadier and Dylan. I cannot remember his last name. I'm sorry, I can't remember his last name. But great. It was great. I got to meet Dylan for the first time that Friday before the wedding, and just a great guy, super ambitious, and he likes to party too, man. So shout out to them. Congratulations, Marla. I'm proud of you. I don't know if you're gonna see this podcast, but I am. I'm truly proud of you, and I'm proud of the relationship that you've developed with this man. And I wish your marriage longevity. But we had a party. We had fun. Definitely drinking. Definitely. I was learning some new Caribbean dances and stuff. I was pretty taken back by some of the Caribbean dances and stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, we turned up. Everybody had a great time. Right. And we're going to be introducing a new segment. This is Shut Your Bitch Ass Up Moment of the Week. Shut Your Bitch Ass Up Moment of the Week. So that'll come towards the end. It will be in the description as well. I'm adding chapters if you want to just jump to that. You can submit to Shut Your Bitch Ass Up of the Week. You can either do that on TikTok, Discord, or you can email me, and it's going to be at topflightpodcast@gmail.com. I'll put that on the screen for you guys so you guys can, you want to just submit me something funny or a funny moment, or tell me to look up a funny moment or something that, I can really, really talk about, then do so. Please, and thank you. Let's go ahead and get into the topics. So, of course, we're starting off with Mark Sanchez, man. Apparently, Mark Sanchez in Indianapolis at midnight got into an altercation with a gentleman. Apparently, Mark Sanchez attacked a worker. He was a 69-year-old man who works in Greece in oil recycling. He's collecting the used cooking oils. So, apparently, the report involved parking or the positioning of a large truck in an alley near a hotel loading dock. Okay, so I don't know. And so then I was like, okay, well, does he own the hotel? Like, what is going on here? Is like Mark Sanchez the booty bandit? Has he turned into security? Is he security for a hotel or something like that? Video surveillance and witness statements were cited by police in their investigation. Sanchez allegedly grabbed and threw the other man towards a wall and advanced towards him. The 69-year-old man says he used pepper spray first, which had a temporary effect, but it failed, and then he used his knife to defend himself and stabbed Mark Sanchez, including strikes 2 to 3 times in his upper torso. And I think that there's a video I seen. I don't know if it's him injured or not, but apparently there's a video of Mark Sanchez as well kind of injured, like walking down the street. I don't know if he was like drunk or something like that. And so the other man suffered lacerations to his face / cheeks and was treated and released, which is good. Sanchez, meanwhile, sustained multiple stab wounds and was hospitalized in critical condition. Initially, later, he was stable. Now, he has been arrested. Okay, he has been arrested while in the hospital. But he was not immediately booked into the jail because obviously he's injured. He's recovering, but he has been arrested. So he's strapped down to a table. He's strapped down to the bed. Okay, so the charges that Mark Sanchez was charged with was battery with an injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle. So this man tried to hop behind the wheel of a grease truck. He tried to. What the fuck? Come on, big dog. Public intoxication. Man, he must have been throwing them shots back. He had to have been. You had to have been throwing them shots back. There's no way. What the hell was he drinking on, man? And now prosecutors upgraded one of the charges to a felony. Okay, so and felony battery, which involves seriously bodily harms, and I can understand that the guy did suffer lacerations to his face. He did throw him up against the wall, so I can understand that. If he's convicted of a felony count, he could face 1 to 6 years in prison. His court date has been postponed. The next scheduled date is November 5th, after waiving the initial hearing. And yeah, man, the alleged stab victim has also filed a civil lawsuit against Sanchez and Fox Sports, allegedly, alleging disfigurement, right? So of course, like, this man is claiming self-defense. Of course, this man is, which he has everything on his side. Apparently, he has surveillance. He has a witness that was looking down the alley at the time, who was watching the whole thing play out. Listen, this is a terrible look. I don't understand how someone gets into this. How do you get into some bullshit like this? You feel me? Like, how does this happen, Mark? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got drunk as fuck and you just started fighting with some man, random ass man in the alley. And I know he's wearing a uniform. Like, he had to have been wearing a uniform. Why are you worried about someone's parking and you're out drinking, walking the streets and stuff? Like, that doesn't make any sense. If he had some parking issues, just call the police or call the hotel manager or someone like that. Like, call somebody. Like, why would you take it upon yourself to go and mess with this man? Let's be real. He had no reason to mess with this man. Like, there was no reason. Mark is going to look crazy in this. Mark Sanchez is going to look nuts on that stand. So, and publicly intoxicated, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. So, shout out to the brother who was attacked in the alley. I hope he gets everything he deserves. I hope he wins the damn football that Mark Sanchez fumbled. That's I hope he wins that shit. But yeah, man, God bless him, and Mark Sanchez, do better. Do better. Theo Von has been having a terrible week. I know his new Netflix special came out, and he's under a lot of scrutiny right now. They said that special was not a good special. They said that he kind of bombed. He had jitters. Apparently, he had people within MAGA in the crowd kind of taunting him and talking about it as well. Man, I seen a clip, and hopefully it's not out of context about what he was talking about, but clearly he's telling somebody that he's just trying not to unalive himself.
I don't know what to tell you about that, man. I'm having a long month. I'm trying not to take my own life.
That's what he's telling the woman in the crowd. He's leaning over and telling the woman in the crowd that he's trying not to unalive himself. And that's crazy. That's crazy to say, but I think that he's taking everything that has been happening up to this point. If you also don't know, Homeland Security posted a video of him on X that he also got scrutiny on, where he is, I don't know if it's a skit or not. I have no clue if it's a skit. If it's a skit, y'all can let me know. But apparently somebody asked him about, immigration or mass deportation. And he spoke into the camera. He said, hey, I heard you got deported. Bye. That's what he said.
Heard you got deported, dude. Bye.
And Homeland Security used that footage. And of course, he spoke out and said that he did not consent to that to being used, and it does not represent his full thoughts on mass deportation and immigration.
And the first 10 seconds of it are me, right? Like, I don't have anything to do with this shit. Nobody asked me about it. Like, nobody said, hey, this is going to happen. Like, and I have a lot of different thoughts about immigration, right? They're like showing people getting arrested. Like, it's just an intense thing. Like, and why is the government even making these? I don't know.
Which that ship is sailed. That ship is sailed, big dog. You're platforming these right wingers. Your views during the Trump campaign has been terrible. You sat down with these people, and I've already said this on TikTok. I say it here, where a lot of these comedians are hiding behind the guise of, I'm just asking questions, or I'm just a comedian. And that's kind of that's what put us in this predicament as well, of Trump being, because why are we getting our information from Theo Von, a comedian, a guy who's not supposed to be taken seriously, and whose content really has never been about politics in any stretch of the word. Why are we using the content of like Andrew Schultz? And I think they're in the situation of fuck around and find out. They're in that space of fuck around and find out, because now they have to account for the things that are going on in this country today, especially when it comes to, and you're seeing a lot of these guys backtrack. Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan has backtracked a lot. Theo Von has backtracked a lot based on some of the things that he's put out there in the space as well. And the thing that he told that fan, he was like, I'm trying not to take my own life, which was, again, I hope that was out of context. I hope that, which I don't know how much context would be needed. Maybe there was a conversation that was having and he was joking about it or something like that. But it seems like he's in a very fragile mental state. His podcast was kind of weird as well. He mentions like, I'm not suicidal. I'm saying that to Israel.
I would never take my own life. I would never take my own life. Okay? You hear that, Israel? I would never take my own life.
Okay. I don't think Israel's going to come after you, buddy. I don't think Israel's coming after you, Theo Von. Nobody really takes you that serious, or we shouldn't be taking you that serious. But I think that a lot of what's going on nowadays in that, and that's why, again, like a lot of these comedians are not suited for politics, right? It was all good when you were making money off of it, when you were platforming Trump and all these right wingers and your views were going up. And now that's your audience. Your audience is right wingers, MAGA, right? They don't want to hear you talk bad about Donald Trump. They don't want to hear you say or backtrack on the immigration policies and the things that are going on with it. That's your audience. So now you're in this box. You're in this box. And because you're in this box, every time you try to move, it seems like you're trapped, because you are. You're not apolitical anymore. You're not just a funny country bumpkin anymore. You are now Theo Von, MAGA comedian. That's your title to these guys, and that's it. It is what it is, man. You know, it's a bet that you made. He is currently on tour right now, and apparently he just is not. He's not doing good. And you know what I hate? This is what I hate personally. I hate we did not vote for this crowd. I heard Andrew Schultz say that. And that's such a dumb thing to say online. You absolutely voted for this. Trump made it very clear on what he was going to do when he became president. There's no way that you thought that. But I also think that you had 4 years. You had 4 years of Trump. What happened in those 4 years? COVID happened. People lost their jobs. People lost loved ones because of Trump's mishandling of COVID. But who did not lose anything, or a lot of y'all did not lose anything because everybody was sitting at home. A lot of y'all got a lot of money off of podcasting, so it didn't really affect you because you're a podcaster. If anything, you made more money because people were sitting at home all day, right? You didn't have to waste money on tours. You didn't have to waste money doing anything else. You just got to show up and put a microphone in front of your face and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that didn't affect an Andrew Schultz, a Theo Von. I believe Theo Von really got popular around COVID, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's when his popularity grew. And so y'all got to run around LA making content. Y'all got to run around and make a lot of money while people suffered. So it didn't affect you. It didn't affect your bottom line. It didn't affect your businesses and things like that. Fast forward, you guys start adding political takes to your commentary. You start adding political commentary to your podcast. And on X, you guys are just completely racist. When that happened and you started platforming all these right-wingers, you started platforming all these people, bringing in all this extra money as well, it didn't affect you then. Now they're putting your voices on their stuff, on their propaganda. They're putting your voices out there. It's the same conversation that I had about Charlemagne. Charlemagne was upset a while ago because I think that the Trump administration used one of his voices or one of his conversations in order to push an agenda as well. And this is why you got to be mindful of the things that you say on social media. I'm all for being critical. You could be critical of somebody. I'm not mad because people are critical of Kamala Harris. That's such a dumb take. But you still have to watch what you say, and you still have to make sure that if you're going to hold that accountable over Kamala Harris, you definitely need to hold that accountable over Donald Trump. And that's the problem, is that people are not holding both sides accountable. When it comes to talking about Donald Trump, people don't want to speak up. But you want to speak on somebody who has no, I'm not going to say that she doesn't have any political affiliations. Of course she does. But doesn't have any power to change any laws or to do anything. Right? She doesn't have that power anymore. And so we're seeing this play out in real time when it comes to these comedians. They're being held accountable for the things that they've said in the past, for the takes that they've had in the past, and they weren't joking at all, for platforming Donald Trump. And people are paid for it. These farmers are paid for it. The black women losing 300,000 plus jobs have paid for it. Some of you white people have lost your jobs. Okay. Some of you, if this big, beautiful bill does get passed in the way that it gets passed, a lot of y'all are going to lose your Medicare and Medicaid, especially if you live in a rural area. That's what you're going to do. You're going to lose a lot from this. And that's why guys like Theo Von and Andrew Schultz and Joe Rogan are getting their accountability arc. They're fucking around and finding out. We got 4 years of Trump already. We already know what Trump was. I seen 4 years. That was enough for me. Okay? Maybe not you, but it was enough for me. It was enough. I didn't need to see any more. So, Theo Von, hey man, listen, you're going to have to do some soul searching. I don't want you to, unalive yourself or anything crazy like that. I don't want that to happen to you, nor do I think Israel would be that reason why. Like you're a comedian. I don't think people take you that serious. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with his performance. Drake is having a bad week. Drake's having a bad week, man. If you haven't heard yet, Drake versus UMG, the Not Like Us song. He was suing them for defamation. He was also accusing them of stunting negotiations. That he was in negotiations with UMG over a new contract, and they continued to promote the Not Like Us track in order to stunt those negotiations. Which I would say to that, you shouldn't have started a rap beef. You should not have started a rap beef. Right? That's like this, okay? And I'll use this as an example. Let's say that you're an athlete. Let's say you're a quarterback. You had one of the greatest seasons of your life. Okay, contract negotiations come up before the season starts or whatever the case may be. And you say, listen, even though I got one more year, I'll hold off on these negotiations, or we're not coming to terms. I'm going to play the next season. Okay? Let's say that next season, you have the worst season of your entire goddamn career. Okay? Did the Falcons stunt you, or did you play yourself in hopes to get more money, in hopes of you're feeling yourself, you think that you're one of the best quarterbacks out there, you think you're going to go out there and be great and still be great? Did they stunt you, or did you fuck yourself over? Because you could have negotiated you could have sat out, you could have stopped making music, you could have done so much, but instead, Drake, you kept going. You went on with this rap beef. You kept going. Like I don't understand how you blame UMG for promoting a better track. And the thing is that UMG didn't step in until the end of Not Like Us. They let you get your shit off. They let you get tailor-made off, even though you put AI, you put someone's likeness in there. They let you get everything off. Drake, they let you get everything the fuck off. They let you talk about how allegedly Kendrick's hurting his wife. They let you get off Dave Free possibly having a child that is Kendrick's. They let you get a lot of stuff off, big dog. They didn't say shit. So I don't even understand like that conversation of, oh yeah, they set me up. They didn't set you up. You set yourself up. Okay. So, you know, it is what it is, bro. It's, the judge found that it was a non-actionable opinion, basically finding that the song lyrics were nothing more than opinions, exaggerations. Okay. Not verifiable fact. Say, Drake, I heard you like them young. I heard that you like them young. Okay. And I want people to understand something. Kendrick did not start these rumors of Drake being a pedophile. This is something that has been going on for decades. Okay. When it comes to like his relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, that relationship seemingly was inappropriate. Okay. And if you don't understand that, I can't help you. I don't understand why you're texting a little girl about her relationship with boys. I don't understand any of it, any of the relationships you've had with any of these young girls. It's another little girl that I can't think of right now. I'll probably post a picture or something like that on the YouTube so you guys can see. But it's another little girl. She was around 18 at the time, I believe. But they believe that Drake was messing with this little girl since she was probably like 16, 17 or something like that. Which again, Drake is in his 30s doing this. He's in his 30s. That video of the 17-year-old girl that he was kissing on stage. And I don't care that y'all are saying that like, okay, well, his homeboys were the ones who brought that girl up on stage. Your homeboys didn't protect you. Okay, your homeboys did not protect you. But also in the video, he does state that this girl is 17 years old. He acknowledges that this little girl is 17 years old. Okay? So, Kendrick did not start these rumors. Okay? The only reason why these rumors came to the surface is because these two got into a rap beef. Okay? They got into a rap beef. And so these two are two of the biggest artists in the rap game right now. Okay? It doesn't matter where you put them at on your totem pole, but they are one and the two within that space at that time. Okay? And this is something that was going to happen. Of course, like, everybody's going to acknowledge these things. But again, nobody stopped Drake from saying that he's hitting on Whitney. No one stopped Drake from saying that Dave Free has a child with Whitney. No one stopped Drake from saying that, even though there's no proof of that. Imagine if Kendrick Lamar would have sued him for that. And then I always continue to say that if Drake was a unanimous winner in this beef, there will be no lawsuit. He would do the same thing he did with Back to Back. Back to Back will be played everywhere, all the time, and UMG will have him plastered on the goddamn gospel cover on Apple Music. They will have him on Spotify playlists. It will be nothing but Drake if he won against Kendrick Lamar. But he didn't, and it's okay that he didn't win. It's okay. All he had to do was go away. Go away for a little while, put some good music out, maybe get on some features, get his name back up there. No, instead, you kept this going by starting a lawsuit with the company that has supported your whole career. Drake, you've been on every cover on Spotify. You've been on every cover on Apple Music. I've seen Drake face on covers that don't have shit to do with the music that he put out. Drake's stimulus package, you mean UMG stimulus package. That's what it is. Because now, your music doesn't stick anymore. You're having a hard time staying in the charts. You're having a hard time. So I'm confused. I'm confused on why you did this to yourself. I mean, that ego must be a motherfucker, dog. That ego has to be a motherfucker. I would hate to be as egotistical as a Drake. Because, I mean, you've at least ruined your rap career. Maybe not pop, because, again, you are one of the biggest artists. You do have a giant fan base. You've been running around in other countries. I'm not no hater. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, Drake is about to, be the next Ja Rule. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that this is going to take a nosedive on your legacy, because not only did you lose to Pusha T, which exposed that you had a child that you didn't really want to recognize or legitimize in the public eye, but then you come back and you lose to Kendrick, which Kendrick had a generational run. And instead of just like taking your L, I mean, he was doing a lot of shit in the background. He was trying to stop Kendrick from performing in Toronto. He was trying to use the lawsuit to stop him from performing it at the Super Bowl. You've been doing a lot of bullshit instead of rapping. Just antics. That's what I call you. You're just full of antics. You've been targeting everybody. You've been targeting LeBron, DeMar DeRozan, who is from LA. Like, of course he's gonna side with Kendrick. He is an LA native. You know what I mean? You've been losing friends left and right, big dog, but it's because of how you've been handling this. Going after LeBron, trying to put out narratives that he's cheating on his wife or anything like that, or that, he's bringing a whole bunch of girls into the house and stuff like that. LeBron's there. Come on, bro. Come on, dog. Let's come on. We're not 12. Right? And so, Drake, this is an L, bro. This is a terrible L. I don't know. I don't want to say it's this is over for Drake. It's not over for Drake. Streaming, it's not the same anymore like a Ja Rule where you have to walk into Target and Walmart, Best Buy, and go purchase a CD. Everything's online. Everything's streaming. These social media apps help so much nowadays. You can get on TikTok and just create dances, and get your numbers up. It's so many different ways that Drake is still cool with a lot of these streamers. So he'll never not have an audience. That's not what anybody is saying. No one is saying that Drake will not have an artist. We're saying when we look back and we talk about Drake as an artist, his legacy, this is going to be a pivotal point in his legacy. That is a fact. You can lie to yourself. This is a fact. And it's his own fault. It's nobody's fault but his. He didn't rap. He lost the black way and he lost the white way. lost the Jewish way. Ain't that crazy? You know what I'm saying? Man, we've been told y'all that this UMG, and here's my take on, here's the real take, my take on the reason why Drake was doing this. Drake was trying to use this for discovery. He was trying to use this to find out dirt on Kendrick Lamar. Personally, like if he won the lawsuit, like whoop-de-doo, whatever. But I think that Drake was trying his hardest to find something that he could come back and kill Kendrick on. That's why he asked for his contract. The contracts ain't had shit to do with shit. That's why his lawyers redacted a lot of that stuff. We know what you're trying to do, bro. You're trying to find writing material. You're trying to find some writing material for him because you can't. No one's telling you shit. Kendrick just told you that. You paid all this money to in the streets to try to find something, but nothing came back to you. But your camp talking the most, pillow talking. Y'all remember when Pusha T told y'all how he found out about Drake's kid? It was through 40, right? It was through 40. So your camp is full of pillow talkers, weird cases. Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? Your connection to DJ Academics. DJ Academics, you have a weird case. You have a weird relationship with him. He has weird cases on file. He's a weirdo. You are very synonymous with losers. You are very synonymous with losers. It only makes sense that this would be your downfall. And they're all pillow talking about you, bro. They're all talking shit about you and presenting evidence. Okay? This was your fault. You didn't have to do this. I can't imagine the people around me waiting on my downfall. Like, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine somebody waiting on me to fall down around me. But, you know, I guess people got that. And you know, it's probably something that happens within the industry. But, yeah, man, Drake, it is what it is, bro. I don't know, man. Start making gospel music or something. Now, again, he is going to appeal. He's going to appeal. I don't expect him to win the appeal. There's not enough for him. So I don't expect him to win the appeal. But it is what it is, Drake. Aisha Curry, man, has been going viral on TikTok. She has a podcast interview with Call Me Daddy. Right? Call Me Daddy. That's the young lady's podcast. I got it, and there's a clip going around. I guess I'll show the clip first so that people can, you know, get an idea of what stirred this whole situation up. But I went and I watched the entire podcast. First of all, it was a very good podcast. A lot of people not going to want to hear that. A lot of men are not going to want to hear that. But actually, if you go watch the entire podcast, the clip is not in full representation of who Aisha Curry is. And if you actually listen to the podcast, the mood of the podcast lets you know that she's not being vindictive, or she's not even talking about Steph Curry. It's more so she's talking she's married to Steph Curry. So she's talking about her journey before Steph, during Steph, and not post Steph, obviously, but in the midst of what she's dealing with as a mother of four. Probably the most interesting information about Ayesha Curry is that girl is Canadian. That girl is Canadian. Did not know that. Okay. She moved to the States when she was 13, 14 years old. And her parents basically have been grooming her to be an actress. Okay. She tells a lot of different stories, but she tells a story about being in a grocery store and running into a talent agent, and said talent agent said, "Hey, I think you need to be in like be an actress or something like that." She's been doing acting since she was 3 years old. She's been in a Hannah Montana episode. She's been in a Hannah Montana episode, and she's always been business oriented. So I think the clip that has been going around, majority of that clip is where she's talking about did you envision being or having children or anything like that? And she says no. If you go and watch the entire episode, that clip does not describe the entirety of what she's talking about. She's talking about like her work performance. She's talking about her life before children as well. And again, she has never been prepped to. Some girls are prepped to be mothers. And when I say that, I'm saying that they're in the kitchen cooking with their grandmother. They're in the kitchen with their moms cooking. The dynamic with the girls are different than the dynamic with the boys. And it's more of like motherly, nurturing, as she's growing up. Ayesha Curry family has been more work driven, career driven. She's been working since she was 3 years old, right? She's been doing commercials. She's been doing acting gigs and things of that nature since she was 3 years old. I'm not saying that she wasn't in the kitchen, because I think that she loves to cook, or that's not something that she was doing, but growing up was never that having 4 kids and all that stuff wasn't a priority in her life. And I understand that. That made total sense. Okay. And especially from somebody who has lived in California and has done some background gigs and stuff like that. They are all like, I'm not saying they're all like that, but majority of them that are career driven in acting, they are not sitting around thinking about, especially the women, they're not sitting around thinking about children. They are actively looking for roles. They are actively in a different mode. They are not looking to be someone. They're not even looking to be someone's spouse, to be real with you, because they're in this constant state of working. And she talks about that a lot, and I appreciate that. I appreciate her speaking about that as well. I learned a lot about her, man. Definitely ambitious. And I also think the biggest thing is that I would not call her relationship to. She recognized, this is something I was talking about with my girlfriend. She recognizes Steph Curry in a different light than we do. We see Steph Curry as the NBA standard, one of the greatest shooters of all time, if not the greatest shooter of all time, 3-point legend, superstar. That's how we see Steph Curry. She sees Steph Curry as her husband, the guy that she fell in love with in high school. Okay, she talks about that as well. She talks about how she fell in love with him, or she liked him. She had a crush on him when he was in high school, right? When they were 14, because that's when they met. They met in high school. And she talks about that. She talks about that a lot. She was I wouldn't even call it jealous. A lot of people keep saying, yes, she's jealous of Steph Curry. She's jealous of her relationship or Steph Curry's success. I would say that it's admiration. It's not jealousy. It's her saying that, hey, I used to be career driven. I used to be the person that I thought was going to be the main actor or anything like that. And then it turns out, I ended up being the mother while, my husband went to have a NBA career. it was even a point where she did not recognize because a lot of people, when we talk about Steph Curry has always been around the NBA, right? Dale Curry, that's his father, right? Who was also a great 3-point shooter in his own right. He was a pretty decent NBA player himself. And as she's talking in this interview, you can tell that that's not something that she was focused on, right? She was not focused on that for Steph Curry. She was not focused on that. She was more focused on her liking him, actually. That's literally all she could talk about in the interview when it comes to Steph Curry. She talks about how in high school he was that nigga in high school, apparently. And in his church. In his church, he was that nigga too. He was that nigga in church. So she talks about a couple of cute stories. She talks about him leaning in for a kiss. And at that point, that's when I realized, like, we're misrepresenting her, because she talks about how she never thought that Steph Curry would like someone like her. She never thought that. She never thought that Steph Curry would go for a woman like her. Right? So I employ people to watch the entire episode. I tell people all the time, I cannot be mad for another man that's not mad. I will never be on this internet being mad for what another man's wife is doing, in a sense of, like, if he's not upset, I'm not upset, right? And we see that Steph Curry is not upset. He's already talked about this stuff. He's also admitted that him and his wife have already had these particular conversations. Because they've had these conversations, who am I? Who am I to get on the internet and talk about this stuff? Truthfully, it's not Steph Curry that's mad or embarrassed. It's men that are embarrassed. And let me say this, I would not want my spouse on the internet talking about everything that we do privately, but he doesn't care. So why am I sitting here caring? Why? Why am I sitting here caring? That doesn't make any sense. And that's just how I see it. I employ people to watch the podcast. If you're going to really critique it, Call Me Daddy, or at least this specific episode, was for women. It was Aisha Curry's navigation through motherhood, through navigating Steph Curry, through trying to find herself and find passions after accepting and even, you know what's crazy? In that episode of Call Me Daddy, she says she has no regrets. She literally says that. She says, oh, I don't regret anything that I have going on. But again, I'm reflecting on my life, and I'm reflecting on the things that, I went through, which I think is great. This episode was clearly for women who started out, especially if you started off career driven, and then you got with a man, you fell in love with him. And because you fell in love with him, you kind of lost a part of yourself as a person, and you accepted this role. But of course, everybody has dreams. I don't know why people are acting like people don't have dreams. Everyone has dreams. And she had dreams, and she lost those dreams because, again, she blinked, and she has this super successful husband, and she has these 4 beautiful children, and she wants to do a little bit more with her life. And I'm pretty sure she's putting pen to paper. I know she had like a show. I don't know how that went. I don't know how that I don't know if she still has that show or whatever. But she wants to get back out there in her career, and I think that she will. I think that she will one day. Steph Curry is about to retire at some point. At some point in the next couple of years, he will be retiring, in my opinion, and which will also give her more time to do stuff, for herself. I've seen all types of bullshit that people are talking about. Well, she wouldn't be famous without Steph. We wouldn't know who she is without Steph Curry. And it's like, the point of it is that even though you don't know who she is, she clearly has been working in Hollywood. And let me tell y'all something about LA, Hollywood, and things like that. There are actors who make bank and you don't know who they are. You might have seen them in like maybe 2 or 3 films and a bunch of commercials. And you probably would not know that unless you just like pay attention that hard. They make a lot of money. Okay? That's how I know she's not chasing fame. That's not her point. Her point is not fame. Her point is simply doing the things that she's passionate in, getting back into acting, getting back into her career, things that she wants to do. A lot of that stuff was reflective. It was just her reflecting on it. It wasn't her being like mad at Steph or being angry or anything like that. It was like, call her dad. He was asking her questions. She was like, yeah, man, I thought that this was going to be my life, but apparently not. It's okay. But she is talking about like, you know, navigating motherhood, also trying to have a career and things like that. And so shout out to Aisha Curry. I listened to the podcast. I loved it. I love hearing different perspectives. So it's time to introduce the new segment, right? Shut your bitch ass up. Shut your bitch ass up moment of the week, okay? And again, you get to also be a part of this. You get to send me clips. You get to send me moments that you feel that we need to talk about and be like, shut your bitch ass up. It could be on TikTok. It can be on YouTube. You can send me clips. I'm gonna post the email as well. That's topflightpodcast@gmail.com, and you guys can send that. You can literally put "shut your bitch ass up" in the title. It'll give me a good laugh to go into it. So and you can send it on TikTok. You can send it on Discord. You can just TikTok, Discord, and email if you want to. If you don't have the clip, but you have like the video that it's attached to, you can just tell me what to look up and I'll look it up. Okay. But this bitch ass moment, shut your bitch ass up moment, is for not just Riley Gaines, but Riley Gaines was the tweet that I seen. But it's Turn Point USA. Apparently people are so upset about Bad Bunny. And, I didn't even know this was real. I'm going to be real with you. I had no clue this was a real poster. I thought that was just something that they were making up or whatever. And Riley Gaines posted that they're going to have an alternative Super Bowl. They're going to have an alternative Super Bowl. Okay. And apparently, I don't know who's going to be performing. I have no clue. Apparently they believe that they're going to outrate the Super Bowl, which the Super Bowl has been growing in number for a very long time. So every year the numbers get better. They're choosing Bad Bunny, and I want people to understand something. Are they choosing Bad Bunny probably because, you know, he's the hottest right now? Yeah, probably. But also it is something that I feel like this nation needs. We need to get back to, we need to stop all this racial tension. And this isn't what's dividing you. I'm not divided. I'm American. And so is Bad Bunny. So I'm not divided on shit. I don't care that, a foreigner does a Super Bowl. If you get some person from, I don't know, India to do the Super Bowl halftime performance, if it's entertaining, I'm a check in. I love music. I love all types of music. There's music that I obviously listen to for like lyrical purposes. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Ab-Soul. You know, I listen to lyrics. I do listen to the lyrics. But then there's also some music that you obviously just dance to. I just talked about how I just came from a wedding and I was listening to Caribbean music. And they were doing dances I had never seen before. Never. I had never seen these dances in real time. And I was having fun. I was, you know what I mean? I'm trying to learn the dances too. And I don't know what the hell the guy's saying over the music, but the music's bumping. Everybody's having fun. That's usually how people see music. That's usually how people interpret music, right? Is it sonically good? Are the people around me vibing? Things like that, right? You in the club, you drinking. Let's say you're in the club drinking drunk. And there are some songs I probably wouldn't. I'll listen to Young NBA in the club. I'm drunk. Okay? I'm trying to turn up. So I'll listen to Young NBA if it sounds good. I'll dance to that. I'll dance to I don't know. I'll dance to some white artist if it sounds good. I don't know. I'll dance to country music if it sounds good. I'll listen to My Green Tractor. Is that the name of the song? Green Tractor, My Green Tractor. I'll listen to that. That's just not how but this is so performative of Turning Point USA. It's definitely a money grab too. It's a money grab. And it makes me think that Charlie Kirk was not worth $12 million, because why do y'all need to do stuff like this? And if you have to not watch the Super Bowl, don't watch this. Don't watch the Super Bowl. Don't watch the Super Bowl halftime show, because I don't really want to see your takes and calling everything demonic. I don't want to see your takes on Bad Bunny. Actually, I don't care to hear the takes. Truthfully, I don't. So if you want to go and you want to watch another show or watch something else, go do that. Do that. Do your thing. God bless you. Let us go have fun and dance, right? We're going to be salsaing all night. We're going to be out there jigging all night, okay? And, but shut your bitch ass up. We do not care. We don't care. Go do your thing. Go. All right? What is going on, everybody? Thank you guys for watching another episode. This is episode 2. I appreciate you guys as well. Love you so much. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and follow us on all social media platforms, Black Development Network. Okay? Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. See y'all in the next episode. Peace.